Hi, this is Nick Forster. This week in eTown, we're going to revisit one of our favorite shows, and it starts right now.
Live from eTown Hall in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains, it's eTown with this week's guest from Los Angeles, California, Raye Zaragoza, Achievement Award winner Bryan Ware, and from Nashville, Tennessee, William Fitzsimmons. I'm Helen Forster. Right now, join me in welcoming our host, Nick Forster.
Thank you, Helen. Thanks, everybody. Welcome to eTown Hall. We meet again. And again, this week, we've got two musical guests and an outstanding award winner. This week, you may have to lean in a little bit and listen closely. We've got some songwriters who write very personal songs, so much so that the songs really affect their lives and their actions and their careers in ways that aren't typical, I don't think, for a lot of artists. They literally cannot sing a song, these two, that doesn't ring true for them. So no matter how many people want them to, that's the kind of artists we have this week. Our first guest has been here before. You may remember that William Fitzsimmons grew up in Pittsburgh and that both of his parents were blind, that he got his master's in counseling. He was a mental health therapist before embarking on his career as a musician. He's now released, I think, his 9th record, something like that, of original material. His songs have been all over the television for many years, critical moments, dramatic moments in shows like Grey's Anatomy, Brothers and Sisters, Private Practice, Life of Ryan, Teen Wolf, One Tree Hill, Army Wives. I'm unfamiliar with all of them, but I'm sure they're good shows. And I'm sure his music contributed greatly to their success. But the same deal, you know, these songs were chosen for those moments when these TV producers wanted their audience to lean in and pay attention. So he's got a new record. It was created in the aftermath of some personal upheaval and the shelving of another record that was already completed. But he's here with his friend Adam Landry. Please welcome back to eTown, William Fitzsimmons.
Did I meet you in the morning? I could never tell. We were coming down together, sitting by the mission bell. I was overwhelmed with sadness when I heard what you'd become. Maybe someone's waiting for you in a city further on from here, but I'm not coming back for you. 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 You were never really mine. Aaron's in the corner, sitting on a filthy floor. As another comes to see her, I can hear him through the door. All night, now I walk beside the water as the sun begins to break. 20 miles outside Boston, I don't see your face anymore, but I'm not coming back for
Thank you very much.
Unfurl your gown, distant full of skin. I knew you once. My God, the sun, windows bare your bones. Feel your crime. Beautiful girl, let the sunrise come again. Beautiful girl, your silver eyes, water in the well, a thirst to fill. Let down your arms for the purging of this dark, the fall to free. Beautiful girl, let the sunrise come again. Beautiful girl, beautiful girl. Let the weight of world resign. You will get better. You will get better.
Such a beautiful sound.
Thanks, Nick.
Congratulations. Good to see you again.
Thanks. Good to see you again, man.
Yeah. I was thinking about that, just songwriters who are so connected to their lyrics, and of course being a songwriter who's also both candid and kind of confessional, that you share everything.
Yeah, probably too much. No, I like the idea of using experience as the grist for what you're going to do. That's my strength, I think.
Well, that's what the people say. You should write about what you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, some people are really talented at finding stories of other people and expressing those in really beautiful ways. Springsteen comes to mind. That's a great example of someone that can write from the perspective of someone else. I am way too self-centered to... I really, for better or for worse, I like the idea of being self-reflective and then starting at that point, and then, hopefully somebody else can connect with what you're trying to say.
Right. Do you think that comes from you having been trained as a mental health professional, that your own inner world is interesting enough because you've studied it?
That's probably a big part of it, although, I mean, the reason why I wasn't a great therapist is because I was too concerned with my own. Well, no, I got bored. I would God, why, stop talking about your problems.
Yeah, that's not a great sign of a great therapist. Yeah, that's...
You tell me. I don't know.
I mean, there probably is some tough love, circumstance in which somebody would pay to have somebody go tell them to shut up. Yeah, but
that's essentially what I was doing. Yeah, but this is better because I just get to talk the whole time, so it's nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your songwriting is therapeutic, and in some ways your shows are too.
Yeah, I think so. It's more of a commitment than just being entertained. You have to go inside these emotions that can sometimes be unpleasant.
Yeah. I should mention that you made a record, and I know you're a painstaking producer and engineer and songwriter and craftsman.
Yeah.
So to make an entire record and then shelve it is a profound commitment.
Sure.
and a sign of that thing where you can't sing songs that don't ring true, I suspect.
Yes, that's a very good way to put it. If I can share the story behind that briefly.
Yeah.
It's not a fun story, but neither's the music, so that's it's fine. But no, I was working on this record that you just mentioned, and it was going pretty well. I built a home studio, working on it with a longtime bandmate and a friend, or so I thought, and I'll just rip the Band-Aid on it. Once we finished, I found out that he and my wife had actually been having a relationship during the time that we were making the record. So yeah, no, I know, it was kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
But to me, it wasn't even I didn't even think about it. It was like,
Right.
I will never, ever be able to play those songs for myself or for other
Right.
people. So it wasn't a decision of artistic integrity. It was just like personal survival,
Right.
But I ended up being connected with the producer, Adam Landry, who is playing with me tonight. And in many ways, that was a very healing experience, more than I've ever had in making the record and kind of starting from scratch.
Did you write some angry songs?
There's anger in them, but I don't love
Yeah.
anger as an emotion in music. I think it's a secondary emotion, and I like to find out what's underneath
Right.
the anger. And invariably, there's usually some fear
Right.
and some pain.
Yeah. There's the therapist speaking again.
Sure.
And I can't help but notice the irony that for a guy who's had his music in so many of these television shows that are fundamentally not necessarily soap operas, but they're all about human drama and
Sure.
and betrayal and relationships, that the bandmate and the wife sort of fits right into one of those scripts, conceivably.
I mean, it's a if I
it's
wasn't
made for daytime
yeah,
television.
if I wasn't
Yeah.
involved in it, I would have sold that script to
Yeah.
Days of Our Lives or something for sure. Yeah.
Okay. I have to say, to change the subject, because Lord knows we have to.
Oh, I mean, I don't. That's I'll go as dark as you want to go, Nick. You know me, man. That's fine. Let's get into your stuff, Nick. Let's
Yeah. Well, listen, last night I played a show with my band that I've been in for 41 years, and it was maybe our final show. It was
Right.
like,
Yep.
Hot Rise played the last show last night, so
Yeah.
that's a thing.
It is so hard for me to not say, how does that make you feel right now?
Except you remember that you actually don't really care.
That was good.
So one of the things that is relevant to what I just said is that we had a special guest with us last night.
Yeah.
A blind fiddle player from Kentucky named Michael Cleveland, who's a great musician, a wonderful player. And it put me in mind of you growing up with your parents, both blind and both musical.
Yes.
And one of the things I was amazed by hanging around with Michael Cleveland is that his ear is just so tuned to everything. He hears everything, not just in the context of the songs, but he's absolutely spatially aware, and he doesn't miss a thing. So I was trying to imagine, as a teenager, could you get away with stuff because your parents were blind, or did they have that superpower where they heard everything?
No, it's a good question. There were moments when I did try, but I actually couldn't. It's a fascinating thing. Like my mom, to this day, still, she knows when I'm in the room. And there were times, for various reasons, that I'd be trying to be sneaky. And I don't know if it's that she could smell me or that she could, quite literally sense the way that the air moves differently in a room when someone walks in,
Wild.
The funny thing is, it's not a superpower, it's survival. It comes from the fact that if my mom and dad didn't learn how to use their ears, they were going to get hit by a car, or they were, you know what I mean? There was something that was likely going to happen.
Yeah.
And the way that translated into their love of music, that's exactly why I'm here today.
Yeah. Just to put it in perspective, we should note that your dad, you had a full pipe organ in your house that your blind dad built.
Yeah.
So these are not people who face limitations easily.
No, they didn't. Well, and that's the other thing too. It's one of those, that card was used, although growing up too, where it was like, oh, you don't feel like going to school today.
Yeah.
Guess what? I haven't seen in 50 years.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, no wonder you at least approached therapy as a career. There's-
I tried.
yeah,
I tried.
some stuff to work out there, William. Well, listen, I'm so happy that you've found songwriting and music as a pathway, and that you've shared. And the reality is, everybody has stuff.
Absolutely.
And to write a personal song that touches on someone else's human experience in such a way so that it becomes personal for them, that's the home run. That's a great achievement.
Cheers, man. Thank you.
Well, let's get back to music. Welcome back, if you would, William Fitzsimmons.
Here's a happy one.
Fills the air around me now with lavender and grace. This place we're pulling tracks of cigarettes, red wine. Our time unwinds. Let sky fall where it may. Let moon shine through the day. You can take my words and my songs, but leave her. The world is not between us now. Our ghosts won't need these clothes. I pray that she does not leave first. Those few long years I'd spend in Ben's. Oh, let sky fall where it may. Let moon shine through the day. You can take my words and my songs, but leave her. You can take my words and my songs, but leave her. You can take my words and my songs, but leave her. Leave her.
That's William Fitzsimmons. The record is called Mission Bell, out on Network Records, along with Adam Landry on guitar. William Fitzsimmons will be back, play some more music later on in the show.
Your visit to eTown is made possible in part by the Scientific and Cultural Facilities District, or SCFD, one of the largest cultural funding mechanisms in the United States, supporting nearly 300 organizations in the greater Denver area. As a reminder, for your viewing pleasure, there are over 2,000 videos on the eTown YouTube channel. where you can also subscribe in order to stay up to date with our latest offerings. And if you're curious about eTown's home base, eTown Hall, our beautiful solar-powered music venue, community center, and recording studio located in downtown Boulder, Colorado, you can learn more about it on our website, eTown.org. You're listening to eTown.
I'm Nick Forster. You're listening to eTown. William Fitzsimmons is going to be back later on in the show. And coming up, we've got a great young singer-songwriter. Raye Zaragoza is here. And before we bring her out, though, we want to introduce you to somebody that we got to know with the help of one of our listeners. We get to do this every week. There are people all over the place who look around and they notice an opportunity to make something better or different in some way that's going to help other people. And they actually take the time to start things that make things better. It's just they take the step, they take the initiative to do something on behalf of these problems. So it's cool. We think these problems are too big or in one way or another we can't make a difference. But these people prove to us that you can. So every week we get to recognize somebody who's doing that. We give them the Achievement Award. And here comes Helen Forster to tell you about this week's winner.
Thank you, Nick. You know how when you go out to a restaurant, they'll often put crayons on your table for your kids, or you for that matter, to occupy your time while you're waiting for your food? Well, this week's winner, Bryan Ware of Danville, California, was dining out with his family on his birthday a few years back. He and his wife, who's a teacher, were discussing recent budget cuts to art programs, which greatly dismayed him because art had been such an important thing to him throughout school. Now, Bryan noticed the pack of crayons on their table, and that led to a conversation with a waitress. And that conversation revealed that each pack of crayons were being thrown out after just one use. Now, that seemed terribly wasteful to Bryan, so he did a little digging, and he discovered that that's a pretty typical occurrence. He wanted to find a way to recycle those discarded crayons. So, using his background in packaging and design, he created a system to repurpose, repackage, and distribute them to kids in hospitals who are dealing with illness or injury. He's keeping waste out of the landfill, and he's been helping in the healing process of tons of kids ever since. And Bryan is here with us, and he's going to tell us more, so please welcome this week's Achievement Award winner, Bryan Ware of Danville, California.
Hey, Bryan, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming out. Thanks for being here.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Helen said that many restaurants choose to toss these crayons out after one use. Why do you think that is? Is that a health department thing? Or?
It's actually more of a legal thing. If a kid got sick from a crayon that had salmonella, or your kid wipes their nose and then puts it down and gets reused, it's just easier than a lawsuit.
That seems daunting, but you had this aha moment. You're out to celebrate your birthday with your family, and you figured there must be a way. What's the first thing you did?
My background, supply chain and packaging, so it's one of those, free materials, what can we do with it? So went home, didn't sleep that night, woke up about 4 a.m, started investigating if anybody did this, because I gotta believe somebody did and nobody did. So we started to figure out how to do it.
Yeah, that's wild. So there's a physical process for repurposing and redistributing them. And then there's the question about where to send them. What led you to give them to kids who are ill or in the hospital?
We had a connection with a child life specialist at UCSF Children's Hospital. And the more that I researched hospitals, the way that their budgets work, they don't get a budget from the hospital because they can't bill. And they actually make it as normal as possible for the child. So it's a pretty important role. And I learned that talking to one hospital, 2 hospitals, 3 hospitals, they gave the exact same story. So that it was a good fit for us to then donate to.
Yeah, and they had the ability to disseminate them inside the hospital. Once they had the materials, they could spread them.
Correct. Yeah, and they use crayons today, but it's one of those things that for them, because there is no budget, they would buy the bulk pack, so a kid would get 1, 2, 3 crayons, all random colors, without getting a full pack. Our crayons have 8 colors in it that they could make fairies and princesses and superheroes with getting the whole pack of crayons. So hospitals were very excited to receive our crayons.
So it's funny because on the one hand, this seems kind of light as a story. But when you're talking about kids in the hospital, kids who are going through illness or injury, I bet there is some, at least anecdotal evidence that supports the fact that these things are making a difference in these kids' lives.
They are. And I mean, you think about the crayons from a light side of it, but at the end of the day, the kids aren't going through something that's light, and they need an escape from that.
Right.
I have pictures up on our wall in our shop of 5 kids, and 2 have passed, and the parents have written me after the fact saying, thank you, this is the last time I saw my child smile.
Wow.
So that's kind of our drive and why we keep doing it.
Wow.
It's pretty heavy sometimes.
Yeah. How did your design and packaging and supply chain expertise fit into this whole picture?
Basically, starting with the crayon itself. I mean, I designed a 3-dimensional model of a crayon and had kids hold it, worked with an occupational therapist. We made it skinnier and longer and fatter and shorter and all these different things until the kids felt comfortable holding that crayon.
Right. I'm a little nervous about this question. Do we want to know what crayons are made out of?
It's paraffin wax, petroleum based. So that's part of the problem is they don't biodegrade in a landfill. So every time there's one going to the landfill, it just sits there. And 100 years from now, it'll still be a crayon.
Wild. Is it hard for the restaurants to harvest the used crayons and then get them into your hands? How does that work?
They contact us. We have actually full programs for restaurants, schools, scouts, et cetera, on how to collect them, how to ship them to us. We try to make it as easy for them as possible.
Mm-hmm. Do you have some volunteers to help you do this?
Just locally, we have about 2,500 volunteers.
Wow. In the Bay Area?
Yeah, consistently helping us manufacture and pack the crayons. And then if you multiply out all the different schools and ambassadors that we have around the country, we're well over 2 million volunteers.
Amazing. And are you a volunteer? How much time do you spend doing this?
I am a volunteer. I work about 60 hours a week on it.
Wow. And it's growing.
It's growing drastically, yeah.
And other than the stories that you hear back from a parent or something, do you hear from the healthcare professionals too, the doctors, that this is a system that's really enhancing the well-being of their patients?
Absolutely.
That's so cool. So when did you start all this?
We got our 501c3 in 2014, and our first donations out to a hospital was in February of 2015.
Yeah, and how many kids do you think you've helped or provided crayons for since you started?
Over 200,000.
200,000.
Yeah, last year alone. Thank you.
That's so wild.
Yeah. You ask about growth. Since 2015's 4 years, we went from 5,000 to 10,000 to 37 to 153,000 kids last year.
And that's also a lot of crayons that you're keeping out of the landfill, right?
Yeah, we've collected over 30 million crayons. It's about 230,000 pounds of crayons.
Wild. Wild, all just because your wife's an art teacher and you're sitting there going, what happens to these?
What happens to these?
Yeah, it's amazing. What an incredible impact. It's amazing. Well, Bryan, thank you so much for sharing your story. Thanks for doing the work you're doing, and congratulations on winning this week's Achievement Award. Before I let you go, if people want to see pictures or want to lend a hand or become volunteers, or a website or something?
Absolutely. Check out our website, thecrayoninitiative.org.
Crayoninitiative.org.
You got it.
Congratulations, Bryan.
Thank you
That's
very
Bryan
much.
Ware, Crayon Initiative founder, chief volunteer,
Thank you.
packaging engineer. It's a great story.
Wow, what a great story. Bryan told me backstage that one healthcare person said that, in their opinion, those crayons and the creativity and the relief from anxiety and worry and fear that those kids get is as important as the medication that they're given. So it's a powerful impact, to be sure. If you just joined us and you missed part of this interview, this show is available for free through your favorite podcast distributors and also on our website, eTown.org.
Thank you, Ellen. Thank you, Bryan. Congratulations, Crayon Initiative. We've got more music coming up from William Fitzsimmons in just a little while. Right now, I want to tell you about our next guest. Raye Zaragoza is kind of an every woman singer-songwriter. with a beautiful voice. She's, she's making music on behalf of the things she cares about, whether that's a saner and safer and more sustainable world or things that are more personal, but she is certainly up to the task. She grew up in Greenwich Village in New York City. She writes songs about sometimes love songs, but sometimes protest songs, sometimes reflecting her heritage, which is Native American, Mexican, Taiwanese, and Japanese. She's written some songs about the protest against the Dakota Access Pipeline in North Dakota. She's gotten a lot of attention along the way. She's also won a Global Music Award. She's here for her first visit. Please help me welcome to eTown, Raye Zaragoza.
Nick, Helen, and the eTones are going to be playing with me, so welcome them to the stage.
I never knew I loved you until I saw you cry. Your head leaned back on the sofa that night, so ashamed of what you had to share. My lips on your shoulder and my hands in your hair. So don't cry yourself to sleep. I would die here and spend every night in between. So in the world don't love you, baby, love me. Love me. Never knew I was addicted till you made me say please. That rush through my spine, boy, it terrified me. Closing doors and clothes on the floors were like heroin to me. Little things kept me going, but you made me believe. So don't cry yourself to sleep. I would die here and spend every night in between. So in the world don't love you, baby, love me. Love me. Love Oh, men will come and they will go. Why do I keep screaming? Love
Thank you. What a cool band. Wow. Wow, my gosh. I usually play solo, and this is just such a treat.
Raye Zaragoza, welcome to eTown.
Thanks for having me.
You grew up in Greenwich Village. Did I
Yeah.
read somewhere that your dad was in theaters?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad, when I was a kid, he played Chief Sitting Bull in Annie Get Your Gun, if you've ever seen it. And even though we were family, we didn't get free tickets. So, but my parents didn't believe in babysitters, so I had to sit backstage every single night for a year while the
Wow.
show was happening. And so me and my sister in our pajamas almost every night snuck in and saw the second act. So I've seen the second act of that musical like 300 times.
Wild. Wild. How old were you and your sister when you're out there knocking around in your pajamas backstage?
I was 5.
You're 5,
Yeah,
yeah.
and she was 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really when I decided I wanted to be a performer in one shape or form was, 5 years old and seeing the second act of that show.
Oh,
over and
that's
over.
cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So, your mom is an immigrant from Asia and your dad's
Yeah.
indigenous. And I mentioned earlier that you're Taiwanese, Japanese, all these things coursing through your veins. When you went to school, did your classmates think of you as being the same or different?
It was interesting as I think there was a time in my teenage years where I kind of woke up and realized that some of the bullying that I experienced when I was a kid could have been racially charged. I think at the time I just thought that there was something wrong, that I did something wrong or that there was something wrong with me. But I wasn't the only one who endured it. I know there were other kids too. But when I was a kid, it didn't clock to me that that was a racial thing. To me, I just
Right.
thought that they didn't like us and there was something wrong with us.
Right. I just want to quickly mention that you have written songs about your experience going to Standing Rock. What precipitated that visit? What led you there? Why did you go there?
I mean, it sounds crazy, but it was really a calling. I felt as soon as my friends who live up in North Dakota were telling me about it, I just couldn't sleep for days, for weeks, for months. All I could do was write songs about it, and then I eventually went.
Yeah.
And it was life-changing, especially, having grown up in New York and having such a mixed racial background. And I mean, the Greenwich Village I grew up in is no longer there. All the mom and pop shops that I grew up with are gone. Everything is gone. And so I've never really felt like I had a hometown. And being from so many different racial backgrounds, there's not really one place I go to that I feel is mine, that I feel is my people.
Right.
And the girls that I was with shared the same sentiment. And as soon as we drove in, we both all started crying and felt like we had come home.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah. I mean, the silver lining is that it really bubbled to the surface so many people that really do want to make change. And we've built this community from Standing Rock, and everyone's gone off on their own and is making change on their own and taking on their own personal causes and
Yeah.
all over the country, all over the world. And I think it really woke up a lot of young people, for sure, me being one of them.
Yeah, it's a choice, right?
It's a choice,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, listen, we've got more music to get to. Thanks for being here. Welcome back, Raye Zaragoza.
So we talked a bit about Standing Rock and going up there. And so this next song is called Driving to Standing Rock. And it's literally about the drive.
Let's get on the road now. The snow is coming in and it won't be plowed until morning. Let's drive through the night. If we watch the lines, we'll be alright. Sister is sleeping in the back. She's got a fever, but we can't turn back. We had this dream, and it's a sign that we gotta stop this pipeline. Ooh, ooh, we love. Ooh, ooh, we've got to go. Stand for what's right. We're driving to Standing Rock tonight. When we arrived, we were greeted by a door. Took the soil in our hands and prayed for Mother Earth. We set out there to sing a negative 20 degrees, and we walked the bridge on the march for peace.
Joining in. That was wonderful. I just have one more song for you. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Raye Zaragoza.
Thank you, eTown, for having me.
Thank you, Nick, Helen, and the eTones. This song is called Fight for You.
Save the river, save the seas, save the mother and her family. How can you take what you want and say that we are free? If you put oil in the water, we won't sit quietly. And we were singing, stand up for what's right. And the trees, save the people who are in need. Can you do what you want and say you come in peace? If you don't open your eyes, how can you see? And we were cheering, stand up for what's right. You can't complain.
That's Raye
Thank you.
Zaragoza. Now living in LA, along with eTone's Chris Engelman, Ron Jolly, Christian Teal, and Helen Forster. Her record is called Fight for You.
This portion of eTown is made possible by the Bohemian Foundation, building stronger communities through the bohemian qualities of creativity and imagination. On the web at bohemianfoundation.org. By the way, did you know that eTown is produced by a nonprofit organization committed to bringing people together through music and conversation? For over 3 decades, we've been on the air celebrating all the things we have in common and highlighting ways in which we can treat each other and the planet better. If you'd like to learn more about eTown or to get involved, please visit etown.org. You're listening to eTown.
I'm Nick Forster. I'd like to say hello to our listeners who are hearing eTown on stations like KDRT in Davis, California, and on WVRU in Radford, Virginia, and on KEOS in Bryan, Texas. As always, if you'd like some more information about any of the things we're up to here at eTown, there's lots of stuff online at etown.org. Raye was talking about her ancestry, about her Asian immigrant mom and her indigenous dad. And it's funny, I think it's worth just talking a little bit about this conundrum we have now where ancestry is kind of cool. It's kind of the rage these days for people to find out about their cultural heritage, and everyone's learning about their roots in these far-flung countries around the world. And then there's this anti-immigrant rant. So just a few facts before we get back to music. This is from the Brookings Institution. 80% of immigrants 100 years ago came from Europe. Now 80% of immigrants come from Asia and Latin America. 75% of the foreign-born population in the United States are naturalized U.S. citizens or legal residents. And immigration in the U.S. does not increase crime rates. So this is from the Brookings Institution. I just thought I'd put it out there. You can process it any way you want, but we're all immigrants at the end of the day. We got a lot in common. So with that in mind, would you please welcome back the very talented Mr. William Fitzsimmons.
Would you guys help me welcome Nick, Helen, and the band back out, please?
Cover my heart. I am walking down the path she left to see dust grown. Only seedlings when her face was young. Was only told I'm better off.
That's William Fitzsimmons, along with Adam Landry. We've got time for one more. And I want to thank everybody for being on the show this week. I want to thank all our guests. Thanks to Raye Zaragoza, coming from Los Angeles, although she grew up in New York. Thanks for joining us this week. Thanks to our award winner, Mr. Bryan Ware, taking crayons, keeping them from the landfill and making sure they're repurposed and shared with people, especially kids in need in hospitals. Thanks again to William Fitzsimmons and Adam Landry for joining us here at eTown this week. We found a fitting finale, and we never know what these are going to be until just before showtime when we get the two guest artists to talk about songs they like, and they found a good one. I'm Nick Forster. Hope you can be with us next week right here in eTown.
Started out on a dirty road. Started out all alone. And the sun went down as I crossed the hill. The town lit up. The world got still, but I am learning to fly.
Learning to fly,
Ain't got wings
learning to fly,
coming down.
learning to fly.
It is the hardest thing
Thank you, guys. Give it up for that band.
Raye Zaragoza, Adam Landry, William Fitzsimmons, eTown, and Helen. Thanks so much to all of you. We'll see you soon.
This is a production of eTown.